to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
Go.
All right, boys, it's episode 26. Welcome into the LFG Pats Pod. Guys, we did it, boys. We did it. We didn't even have a Panthers podcast person on the podcast last week because we didn't respect them. We didn't respect the team. And here we are. Here we are, boys, basking it. Everyone, let it rain on you.
Maybe that's your good luck charm, is when you have people on, like it's a bad luck thing. You have someone on from the other team. It's kind of like you're sending them mojo.
Well, you're not a Bills fan, are you, ZeeBee? So we're good.
No, definitely not.
So Joe, we have a guest on today, right?
We sure do. So we have ZeeBee from Cut Call. If you guys don't know ZeeBee, I mean, you clearly don't follow us because I constantly retweet ZeeBee stuff between college players and the Patriots players and just players in general. I mean, he's like the forefront of basically cutting up the X and O's, and it's to me, it's next level for people that are, knee deep in the details, but it's also has a lot of good stuff for novice and amateurs too. So ZeeBee, love the work you do. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Good guy to have on your team. He gives us a lot of insight and knowledge, and we are informed by that. So we appreciate you coming out to the show, man.
And I appreciate the hell out of you guys. You are my favorite. So let's get rolling.
Oh yeah, let's go.
We love to hear that, baby.
It's a good week to talk football. There's none have to apologize for anything they did wrong.
Heck
Exactly.
yeah, baby. Heck yeah. You have your detractors and all of that, but that's just the naysayers and the poo-pooers. We did what we were supposed to do. Can everybody agree on that at least? And we'll open it up and then go from there.
Exactly. But so we're going to talk about the amazing decimation.
I jumped the gun. My fault.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'll always reel us in. Don't worry. But we're going to talk about the Panthers, and we're going to talk about our great event coming up this weekend. So we've already talked about it, but first we're going to talk about the sponsors. And where is that event this weekend? It's at Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar on Way Bassett Street. It's in the Arcade in Providence. Mike and I are going there Thursday. We're going to check the setup out. They have a nice little private room in the back with like an 80 or 100-inch TV. They have a wall of glass that goes into an atrium. So Mike and I are talking about, when we do the live podcast, we're going to have maybe people in the background, almost like a college game day scene, cheering in the background. The Foxborough fellows, Pete Collins is going to be there. We're going to have Scotty B there. So it's going to be an amazing event, guys. It's literally free. If you support us, if you want to buy a t-shirt, you're going to get a little card, whatever. Honestly, just come and hang out, have a good time.
Yes. If you show up without credentials, we're not going to turn you away.
Exactly.
So you're going to be in good shape.
Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar. Ryan Bissett will be there. He's the man. He'll be throwing out all kinds of free food, literally free apps. I haven't seen the menu yet, but I know Ryan's working on it. And so, yeah, Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar, meet us there at 6:30 on Sunday. And the podcast will start at 7. We'll shoot for probably an hour, maybe a little more. We always go over. But yeah, we're going to watch the whole Bills game there. I'm Ubering home. I think Mike is too. So it's going to be a good time.
They have a good beer selection. You might have to Uber
Oh,
home.
yeah.
Exactly. 55 beers on tap, baby.
Oh, it's gonna be delightful. So Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar is our first sponsor. Our second sponsor, and Horizon HVAC, guys. I cannot thank these guys enough. Ever since I had them over here probably about a month ago now, my AC, I still run it because I gotta sleep in like sub-zero temperatures with like the fan going. But my thing's running like a dream now. It hasn't been cleaned in 6 years. And so these guys came and said, look, your thing's all gunked up. I think something on my interior unit was all gunked up. They fixed it within an hour, maybe 2. But the guy was super nice. He goes, look, you got an R22 unit. At some point, you're going to have to upgrade this because it's out of regulation at this point. But we're going to get as many years of this out as we can because they're very pricey to replace. But Horizon HVAC, ask for Mike Cesaroni. He's the guy over there. He's the owner. He's awesome. You'll see him all over social media on Instagram. Him and his wife are awesome. But yeah, check it out, Horizon HVAC. So guys, ZeeBee. I mean, this is glazing time. Tell me what you saw in this game that really made you go, "Wow, we are finally back."
Oh, I mean, Marcus Jones would be. We'll get to Drake May. He'll get his flowers, but Marcus Jones was the first. I mean, we all watched it, right? He's the one that got the team going, like that big that giant kick return. And I can't say enough.
Changed the whole trajectory of the whole
Game breaker. Game breaker.
Yeah.
And how many times has he done that since he's been in New England?
A couple of times.
A couple of times at least, where there's been a play. They had the long that
I was at the Jets game. When it was all punts and field goals. I think it was like 3-0, and he literally won the game on a kick. It was like the most disgusting December weather game, and we all freezing.
Yep.
And sure enough, game breaker.
And then he also had, I think that they did that little bubble screen kind of play to him later on that season. They remember the one that the next year everyone was angry, angry because they didn't run it again or they didn't do more of it. And I forget if that was decisive in the game, but it was definitely energizing. And I think that's what he was in Houston when we were all scouting him. And I just loved him. And I'm a Marcus Jones guy. He's
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Top 5, top 10 Patriot. Well, I love everything about his game. I mean, he's not a big player, but he's such a tough man cover guy. Hits. You've seen him hit. He hits and then he is the guy that comes up with those plays. So that would be my first thing my first takeaway is that all of a sudden, like Mike said,
right before that kickoff, ZeeBee, because I was at the game. I usually coach my son's game on Sunday. I coach his competitive team, so I'm usually like watching the game and coaching, and it's kind of a mess. But I had the Sunday off, and so I was at the game, and they were pinned back pretty good, right? I think they kicked it from like the 20 or something.
Yep.
And so it was like I was yelling. I'm like, "That's a lot of grass." I'm like, "Don't kick it to him. That's a lot." I said, "You better kick it out of bounds." And sure enough, he got the ball with a lot of space, took it from the right all the way to the left, and just embarrassed a lot of people all at once.
The next one that he did too, that next big one was even. I mean, he just
more impressive.
Impressive. I mean, he didn't score, but I mean, I'm saying right now, I remember at the time, I think I tweeted it. I was like, this is being tired from running a football field 4 times.
And he ran into his own play, right? Did he run to Charles Woods?
Yeah, he got a little tangled up, but you could see
the punter did.
Was the punter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got tangled up with you're right, you're correct. That was the punter, but you could see his legs the way he was running a little bit like that. I was it's not even though these guys are A+ athletes, especially Jones, I mean, that running that football field that many times is like extra work. And it comes out in your legs. But yeah, what a dude, what a major dude. And yeah, before that they were kind of you were a little bit like, can we, were they down 10-0? Were they down 7-0, right?
At that point it was 6-0. Yeah, because they missed the extra point. Yeah.
That's right.
He doinked it right off the upright.
Yep. And I'm literally looking at that and I'm thinking just their first series wasn't good, and you're thinking, are we gonna lose to the Panthers?
Joe was at the game, and I was telling him, look, sitting there in the stands, that must have been so frustrating for the first 10 minutes of that first quarter because they did absolutely nothing and they let the Panthers run on them at will.
Yep.
So Joe, how much did your energy flip from the first to second quarter? Because the second quarter, 3 touchdowns in the second quarter.
So going into this game, my buddy Casey, who he's had the season tickets for 20 years, he's sitting next to me. And I think he's a little down on the team, saying, this team's not going to win a lot of games.
He's a blowhard anyway. So
he's jaded because he's a season ticket holder, right? And they've been bad.
Well, I hope he listens to this podcast. All right. Anyway.
So he was saying, he's like, oh, not looking good. I'm like, honestly, they got the script out. Let's just see what happens after this. I was just like, this is the script. Let's just see. We traditionally haven't done well against the script, especially this year. And so let's just see how it goes. And I would, trust me, I was starting to feel a little like, oh no.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. The next drive that they got when their first scoring drive, Josh McDaniels just kind of like it was some of the finest play calling I've seen from a Patriots play caller since Josh McDaniels left.
Spectacular, man.
Just the sequence when he went out, and I forget the exact sequence, but it culminated in, and this changes the game, is them taking Antonio Gibson and they lined him up in slot left. So they're in dolphin. They got like two wide, and it looks like you're spreading it. And we know Antonio Gibson was a wide receiver in college, and you can straight up line him up at wide receiver, especially slot, and get something out of him. And they ran a jet sweep with him. What was that? 20 yards, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then they set that up. They set it up. Yeah.
They did Henderson. They faked with Henderson, and it worked out absolutely perfectly for everybody.
And Henderson actually goes as a lead blocker on the jet sweep, right? And so the next play was the one to Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
And what's happening in the backfield? What's happening in the backfield on that play is they're faking jet sweep to Trevian Henderson. Yeah, to Trevian Henderson, who's lined up in the left slot. And they're running it with, and they're also running it with like the same sort of zone protection that they've been using all season. So everyone's starting to kick out and reach to the reach block to the right hand side, and then all of a sudden it's just Ramondre Stevenson in space is a scary thing.
Like the right end bit so hard.
So bad.
Fake.
I took a video of that up on my Twitter, and it was like when you see Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, so they're on this particular play, they're trying to really reach and then release.
Ben Brown, right? It was
Ben Brown.
Whatever, Ben Brown. You're correct. It's Ben Brown. Yeah, sorry. And you see these guys. They're supposed to release to the. Actually, I think it was actually Bradbury. I think it was the center and the left tackle, to be honest. But any given rate, they're supposed to reach and then release to the second level because that's the play. They're really trying to get up to the second level. They're combo blocking. And you watch them the linebackers, the whole linebacking group bit so hard that these guys are I mean, you can see it on my YouTube from the All 22, on my Twitter from the All 22. They basically walk up to the second level, turn to the right, and hinge like it's a walkthrough. Like it looks like a walkthrough, like it's utterly.
I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, they walk up and they just turn like this. Like it's literally like you're practicing what you would do for the play with nobody else on the field because everyone
on a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Saturday walkthrough before the game for real. Literally, that's the speed that it looked at on the two blockers on the field side, so the left side, and you just see Ramondre Stevenson. And the other thing they did on the play that was cool, and this is like the stuff Sean McVay gets lauded for, is they've got Hunter Henry knows Hooper, so they got Hooper, and Hooper's flashing back across he's flashing back across the formation. So it's a normal thing you do to cut when you're running to the right. So you want to cut that end man, you'll send your tight end back across the other way, and that protects the back of the back of the run. Okay, but he's really cutting the end. He's not actually cutting anyone really. So he's going to be blocking whoever's the most dangerous man from the outside. And he's really a cutoff block on the front side of that run. So the one guy, and I'm looking at it on tape, the one guy who picked the whole run up is the left cornerback for Carolina. And you see him see the play. Like he sees.
He gets caught, right? He gets caught.
Yeah. And what he does not see is Hooper, who hits him. So
Hooper,
he catches so much of Hooper, it's crazy. And I just thought that those two plays to me, before any of the other stuff, the great stuff we saw in the game, it was a game-changing sequence itself too. What Josh put in there, just like bing, bang, boom, like you're done. All of a sudden after that, Carolina's on their heels, and they ran. So the second play and this is really critical, the second play they ran there, the one to Ramondre, right? So that was set up it was really like a counter. Like it was, so Ramondre took a step towards the sweep, like he was going to go lead block for the sweep, and then came back around and gets the ball from Drake. And the rest of the game, they ended up pounding up. They were doing everything was count. They're even the touchdown to Drake May it was a counter play. Like we're gonna go this way, but no, we're gonna send someone else that way. Panthers could not keep up with it. Josh called a game. Like he called a game.
So yeah, that begs the question. I was incredibly encouraged by Josh McDaniels' overall game plan in this game. I think it's ramped up. He's a very game plan specific guy, and I think he got a couple of things wrong leading up to this week, but I think he got everything right this week. Can you speak to that? Because I think he's the right guy for the job. Now, Mike Vrabel minimized him. He's like, "Oh, it's not only Josh, it's blah, blah, blah." But I think Josh McDaniels is the right man for the job.
Oh yeah, I would if I were Mike Vrabel, I would also have. I mean, I don't know everyone. I don't know every role in the place, but I feel like you'd have to mention Doug Marrone because some of these linemen are. I mean, Ben Brown would be one to look at Ben Brown last year, and then look at Ben Brown this year. Doug Marrone's
Garrett Bradbury.
Yeah, Garrett. No, I was going to say Garrett Bradbury, another one that he's using Garrett Bradbury the way Garrett Bradbury should be used. He's giving he's doing his best to get all, and him and Josh are getting all these linemen in the positions where they can play their best and be in there, and that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do. And you've got, if they keep the way that I've seen up, they to give more flowers to someone other than Josh, don't let Doug Marrone out of this building. Don't let Doug Marrone out of this building
because we don't even have like marquee talent at certain positions yet on the offensive line. So imagine when we get, a great left tackle, a great, right tackle. Not that Moses has been great, but he's on. How many more years does he have left?
ZeeBee, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have to ask you: is Josh McDaniels the right coordinator for Drake May, given his skill set? I think that he is, based on the willingness to diversify. But I don't know if everybody feels that way. Is Josh and Drake the right pairing right now?
Yeah, I do. And you know what? I kind of got off because you were mentioning Vrabel minimizing it, but you are, yes. And I was a little bit of a doubter, but not an enormous doubter. But I was kind of when they first brought him in, I was a little bit worried that Robert Kraft was reaching for familiar places and not going through, not interviewing, and also was a little bit worried about how modern an offense he was going to put out there, and he's absolutely hit it out of the park. I go through it weekly, but I mean it's fresh what he's doing now. It's fresh, it's vital. Like it's the Patriots terminology. It's the Patriots offense in a lot of ways, but in other ways, he's doing stuff that he hasn't done before, or he's doing it in ways he hasn't done. Done it.
It's honestly, it's amazing what I see them, what they do with Hooper and Henry. The way they're using both those tight ends is every game Hooper has a big play. Every single game. There's not one game where Hooper doesn't have it. And then Hunter Henry is expected to do that. But now you've worked in our second tight end, and it just feels like, wow, it's like very refreshing to see. Granted, last year Hooper had some plays too, but it seems like every single game Hooper has that like, wow, there's the Hooper play. There it is.
Yep. And tight ends to a degree. I mean, it's just in the nature of the business. They're kind of scheme guys, no matter what. Like they really are. Like there are maybe a few.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Their scheme. If they get a target, it's because of the scheme. They're scheming him open on the target. Go out. I'm sorry.
But you're right. With all tight ends, and I mean all of them. I mean, there's maybe like in the league at a given time 3 or 4 guys who you can just. And that really is even with Gronk, when Gronk was really eating as a receiver, he was lined up in the slot or lined up at X. So they would just say, hey, go play wide receiver. And then, so there's a handful of guys in the league you can do that with. I mean, like Brock Bowers, like a really short list of tight ends who can really just shred out there. Your next best guys, your Hunter Henrys and stuff like that group, it's really so much about what you can get out of them. You know what I mean? Like what your coordinator can get out of them, what your scheme can get out of them. Because you could take, the Hunter Henry, you mentioned Hooper. Hunter Henry's the same. They're running they're leaking him to the back. They're leaking him to the backside.
It's like they want you to forget about them. They want you to disguise them, forget about them for a little bit, and then, oh, wait, they're 30 yards downfield, or they're leaking across and now they're taking a drag up the sideline. Like all these little things where it's like, very nuanced ways to
you
use
have
them.
to set it loose. That play, the touchdown to Henry, like that was that was like a dash protection or another counter protection. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but that was a read by Drake May. I'm pretty sure either that or they wanted it to look like a read, so like a college play, like
an air option, kind of deal.
Yep, like a modern triple option. I think either that or they wanted it to look that way. You know what I mean? That it might have been action off of that kind of idea, because you see Drake May and I think he's reading on the play. I think he's reading the safety behind the rusher because it looks like a Lincoln Riley play. So that one was counter naked, and so they're running counter naked, and then like Henry just kind of like comes in. And this is like the really great part of the play. There's an element to it that was set up because Booty's not a real receiver on that play. The one where Henry scores the touchdown, I don't think Booty's a real receiver on that play. He looks like he was out there to set a screen.
He's not running a route. He's just out there ready to block.
Yeah, well, he's out there to pick for either the Hollins was coming across, so he's either picking for Hollins or picking for Henry, if I'm remembering the exact play. But that's a great example of scheme and Josh doing great things on that particular play because it was all there. One, he took his quarterback, he moved him, he broke contain, he moved the pocket, like, you know what I mean. Number two, he used his quarterback as a runner, like as a threat of a runner. Number three, he got Henry, who's blocking in this sort of in any sort of a run protection, but in counter he'd be blocking here, and they used him and kind of leaked him out and over, or didn't leak him, but they ran him on that really, really skinny under. Four just let the play comes down to Drake, right? So if you see the throw, I saw some guy on Twitter say he threw a 4-yard pass that a tight end ran in. Congrats, you're Dan Marino. And I just I saw someone else.
Wow, that's a hot take.
Yeah, I think it was Michael Hurley.
This is the point. He bootlegged out to the wrong side intentionally. That was to his left-hand side, not his right-hand side. So they are comfortable enough for him to roll out to the wrong way and still complete the pass. And people don't seem to understand that.
He threw an absolute dart. It wasn't like, a 40-yard dart, but it was
a dart. It wasn't a throw.
Literal dart. It was a literal dart.
Did he say that was the wrong side? Well, really quick, did he say that was the wrong side?
No. I'm saying he rolled out to the left, and he's a right-handed thrower.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
so sorry.
Saying,
you're good. Yeah. Sorry, I thought Drake came out and said I messed the play up. Oh, God,
no, not at all, not at all. They've been rolling him out to his strong side to the right for a while, but on 2 occasions in this game, they rolled him out to the left and made him rotate back and throw because he's very, very good on the run, and he proved it to us. So,
did you see you see the game at Pitt, by the way, on this exact topic? They rolled him out at UNC a lot to either direction. Okay, specifically options to the left, and the play at Pitt where he throws a left-handed touchdown is the exact same.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. And that's it's the exact same kind of scenario where he's improvising a little bit right there. Cause I think that one was a designed run. He was supposed to keep the ball and just take it in. And his blocker actually got behind the formation and he's getting tackled. And he just kind of, I was like, wrong. There's no wrong side with Drake May.
I think so. I think though, right. And this is where in the beginning of the season, the narrative do they trust him? And I was even saying, are they putting kid gloves on him? Who is this on? Is this on McDaniels or is it on May? Is it the playbook? Is it too much? I mean, they clearly have full confidence on him if they're rolling him out to that direction and saying, hey, it's your choice. You decide if Henry becomes a blocker or and he made that in a split second and it was pinpoint accuracy. And if he doesn't make it pinpoint accurate, he's not scoring a touchdown, guaranteed.
Correct. And that's I think Josh tapping into something that shows up on his tape at UNC and it shows up all over the place is that Drake is a great, one of my notes that I came in here is he's very decisive. There is people will say that they want about different quarterbacks, say what they want about Drake May, but Drake May doesn't, there's no dithering and messing around. There's none of him standing there indecisively in the backfield. Whatever he does fast. So when he came out, and before they even drafted him, I was like, what's his scheme fit? And I build the prospect up, and I'm like, this guy needs to go somewhere with like an Andy Reid, where you put the quarterback on the move, you get him around, and you tap into what you just said, that ability to just quickly execute something and make it happen. And that pass that he threw, the end zone view of that I think Michael Hurley posted it in response to that person who said, wow, a 4-yard pass. He's like, this is the 4-yard pass we're talking about. I posted the same clip earlier on in the day, but the ball is, he throws it by the ear hole of the linebacker, just like, really, he's like staring. No sense. Yeah, right between the numbers on Henry, like right by the ear hole of a linebacker that he's staring right at. Just, and you're like, the guy, it's special. It's a special talent, and Josh is getting to get right back where Mike was at. Josh is running the plays that take advantage of it, because, like I said, that play, that like running the counter where you've got one of your guards pulling this way and your running backs going this way, and then all of a sudden Drake's actually really running like a modern kind of triple option kind of set up on the left, and you've got nobody to protect Henry, nobody to cover Henry. That's special play calling,
I wonder if JJ McCarthy could do that. Let's I want to hear what Tom Curran has to say about JJ McCarthy real quick. Hold on.
So did the Patriots make a drastic mistake by not trading down, taking J.J. McCarthy, and then taking, for instance, Tyler Guyton or Jordan Morgan later in the first round, or somebody in the second round? I think it's a terrible move by them. I think it's a big mistake. I think they're going to regret it forever that they have Drake May as their quarterback.
I hope he never lives that down. I really do.
Oh my goodness! I never saw that. I never saw that.
Hold on. Have you seen that? You must have seen this one. Hold on. There's another one here.
I'm just wondering about Stephon Diggs. You go from Josh Allen to C.J. Stroud to Drake May. You sure about that, bro? Are you sure? I mean, I just think it's a legitimate question to ask, because no matter what you are as a receiver, it don't mean a damn thing if the quarterback can't get you the.
It's been so much Drake May hate. And then there's another one that I wanted to bring up real quick. Ben Kurt, if you guys know who that is. Yeah. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he doesn't have the athleticism of a guy like Jaden Daniels to help alleviate play calling behind a bad O-line. He's not Superman. He's not the savior for a franchise, and all that is okay. He can be a good QB in this league, blah, 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 blah. Huh. I mean, I just, for a guy that came out that was clearly top 3 just skill-wise at his age with the limited amount of games that he played at UNC and all the success that he had, I find it really interesting that all these big money pundits and media people he's
22 years old.
Right.
People forget this is a 5-star prospect who was offered at Alabama and stayed home in UNC and carried a really bad team. You haven't even seen Drake May with really good players around him yet. I'm going to leave Kurt's thing up to Kurt, the Kurt Benkert. He can have his evals. Stephen Smith, he's gonna do it. And Tom, I think a lot of people, what Tom was voicing was a common thing in New England when Drake it was sort of a divisive draft, and there were a lot of people who were saying trade down. And I'm a little bit agnostic in the draft. I just said, if they want to trade down, if they can get the right deal, I liked McCarthy as a possible guy if you were going to do that. But make no mistake, Drake May I had Drake May over Caleb Williams, and consistently reiterated to people that if they were there with Elliott Wolf, and I think it was his first year on the job, and I just said, look, most teams aren't going to pass up the guy if he's their guy. Yeah, you're not going to, you're not going to turn up a quarterback anywhere at any spot in the draft if he's your guy, if you like the guy. And I think you'd be crazy. And I said that at the time, I think you'd be crazy to pass up Drake May. The chance to take it. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that those guys said. One in particular about the athleticism. I don't think
Yeah, that's wild.
Drake May, yeah, he is among the top 5 athletes at his position. Period. And stop.
That's ridiculous.
I've watched every game he's played in college. I've scored half of them, meaning I've gone through them twice. I've watched obviously all of his Patriots games, and I've watched a lot of football. He's everything. He's got a lot he can do,
No, not ZeeBee. ZeeBee hasn't watched a lot of football.
I watch a lot of Drake May. I'm just a Drake May guy. But you get what I'm saying. Like, who would you put above him athletically? I can't.
No.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
I would just say there's a spot at the top, just in pure athleticism.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes, yeah, that has to go to
Lamar Jackson, clearly, but like, there's not many.
And then, I'm talking about dudes in his class or his class before or after.
Oh yeah, right.
People within his realm of capabilities.
Yeah,
and who else is better than him in the before class, the current class, or the after class of what he was drafted?
If you wanted to say like just pure running, you could talk about Kyler Murray or something, but like he is nowhere near the decision making, the ability to throw downfield, height, general height.
I would say Jaden Daniels, but he's hurt. So
but Jaden Daniels is not the thrower. I mean, we saw that last year in the playoffs when they like the dying game. I mean, I'm an LSU fan and I love Jaden Daniels, but he's not the passer that Drake May is. He's not. You in the playoffs last year, if you get a chance ever to rewatch that, I mean, there's literally plays where the ball's not getting where it needs to be. They had a lot of wind too that day, as I recall, and you just see it. It doesn't have the velocity. It doesn't have the snap. I don't think he has quite the location ability. The ability to just get in there, just drive the ball where it's got to go. And he's got a nice touch to Jaden Daniels, but he's not the universal, and he's not the quick thinker. I don't think that Drake is. Like, I don't think
ZeeBee, who would have you taken number 1 overall in that class?
Drake May. Yeah, Drake May.
Followed by.
Are we talking about just you asked me for my general big board, like my general big board?
Just top three.
Top three.
Yeah, my number 1 was Drake May. My number 2 was Caleb Williams, and my number 3 was Malik Neighbors.
Holy baloney pants! How about the number 3 quarterback?
Number 3 quarterback. Yeah, I think it was JJ. I think it might have been JJ or Nix.
Not Daniels.
No. Oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, sorry. I skipped over Jaden Daniels.
I was gonna say, JJ has to be that third one.
So I do chip things. So what I usually do is I bunch people up into chips. I said, this guy's blue chip, this guy's red chip. So blue chip means anytime, any draft. That it just means they're top 10.
Okay.
Right? So my blue chips were Harrison Alt, Neighbors. I can do it this way for you. My blue chips were Harrison Alt, Neighbors, May, Caleb Williams, and let me run down the classes. I had Jaden Daniels. We'll put it this way. So here's where Jaden Daniels was for me, and this was divisive at the time, but I think I'll be proved right. So he had a very high red chip value for me. That means just outside of the top 10. And here's the reason why. I don't think that Jaden Daniels is the guy who can lift a football team. Like, I think he's a guy in like a really good scheme, can eat. He's a guy who's he's an awesome leader that the players love him. They loved him at LSU.
So your evaluation has always been higher of May rather than Daniels, basically,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, and I'll stick to it, and I will stick to my guns, So
right how can you argue with that, folks? How can you argue with that? He's had May above Daniels the whole entire time. We're seeing the fruits of the labor right now as we speak. How can you go against this man's evaluation? He studied these people for years, so I don't want to really hear about it. Okay, he had Drake May as a blue chipper. He had Jaden Daniels as a red chipper, if I'm interpreting this correctly.
Yeah.
And this guy knows more about scouting football than anybody that I've ever seen in my life. Anybody that I've ever talked to. So sold. I'm in.
And I don't break guys down either. I don't go out there and say this guy is trash and whatever. When I looked at Jaden Daniels as a whole, I loved him. I'm an LSU fan and I watched all of his games there. But there's a limit. You know what I mean? And I looked at Drake May and I see him at UNC and I'm like, sky's the limit with this kid. Some of the stuff that he could do
with marginal talent around him, right?
He did not have Malik Neighbors and BTJ.
Right.
He did not have Will. He did not have Will Campbell, Malik Neighbors, BTJ. No. Like run down the list of guys that went into the NFL. He did not have
fifth
that
of the budget, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no. So, question I had for you, ZeeBee. What are your thoughts on? Because we all been chanting from the rooftops about get Kyle Williams more involved, activate Efton Chisholm, Trevion Henderson. Although he's proven to be a weapon, his pass blocking has been heavily criticized. A lot of issues with holding calls. What's up with the rookies? Do you see them getting more involved as the season goes on? Obviously, with Diggs moving into the slot and kind of taking over a lot of Douglas's role, where does that leave the rest of these rookies? Where do you see them fitting in?
Yeah, I want to see what happens with his pass blocking. That's a huge thing because there's an enormous they would put him on. They did a lot of aggressive stuff the first few weeks with him. We're gonna put it that way. That you don't normally. It's not. You know what I mean? There were a lot of situations where he would straight up be blocking a guy like an end or something like that.
Yeah, 1-on-1, right?
Yeah, and
they did it with Hunter Henry a lot too, right? They just put Hunter Henry on I forget the Miami guy, Phillips.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, what are you doing? He can't do that. It's not his.
You can and you can't. That you're not normally supposed to. There's like a rule, the big on big rule that you generally or back. The great way to remember it is back on backer, back on backer, big on big. So you don't want that mismatch usually, or and we'll see how he adjusts to it. He's young. He needs to maybe gain a little bit of muscle for that. I don't know, or gain practice a bit more. They would do that at Ohio State, but there's an enormous difference between a lot of the guys that you'll see playing, and not the talent wise, but you'll play narrower, skinnier ends all the time in college.
Yeah,
guys that aren't the guys that might be an NFL talent at sub rusher or an NFL talent off the ball. But as far as Kyle Williams, and we'll start with Efton Chisholm because I'm an Efton Chisholm guy. Efton Chisholm is fine where he is because the guy that's getting a lot of his reps is Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
So that's really if you have to sit there and wait for Stephon Diggs, there's worse people. It's not like they're starting Joe Schmo, and I got to get that out there. There's not, and I said it earlier on in the season. I said it in the preseason. I think I said this last year. There's not the crossover with what they do with Jamario Douglas and what they do with a lot of the slot guys that Efton Chisholm's compared to that people think there is. There's not that. Yeah, that Jamario Douglas is I call him I'll just sometimes call him a weapon, and maybe an adjuster, a true, so when he comes on the field, I feel like and maybe you guys feel this way, maybe you see it. When he comes on the field, somebody feels like it's a different phase of offense. He's our third wide, you know what I mean? He's our third wide receiver. We're now going to spread it. We're now going to throw, and it's a little bit remember, Deion Branchy, maybe kind of mixed between Deion Branch and a slot, maybe. It's hard to explain because it's like a Venn diagram and they don't overlap perfect, but they're not trying to use Pop Douglas like Edelman or Amendola or any of, that, or Welker, at least not from what I can see. There's a lot more cross. There's a lot more weapon type routes trying to get him out, get him into space.
Do you think he has chemistry issues with Drake May? Because I don't know if it's his size or what it is, but he just doesn't seem comfortable throwing to Pop Douglas.
Yeah,
he either overthrows him or
I think it's just what ZeeBee just said, that he's trying to run through the routes. I've been saying this for weeks.
Yeah.
He tries to run through the routes. He doesn't have an innate sense of when to sit down or where to read the defense or where to find his soft spot. That's why Stephon Diggs is in the slot right now. Pop Douglas is being phased out. Let's not get it twisted around at all.
For sure.
I love Pop Douglas. I really wanted him to figure it out. But come on, guys. Let's take a look at just what happened. The routes that Diggs ran are professional big boy
PhD level routes,
NFL routes. And not only that, Drake May knew how to address those routes. So those guys are going to have some chemistry. I love my boy Efton Chisholm, but I don't see him or Douglas taking the field in any scenario whatsoever right now. You got Booty is locked at X. I'm sorry, guys. Booty's locked at X. You got Matt Collins, and this is the thing. Matt Collins and Steph Diggs are going to rotate between the Z and the slot. They're going to rotate based on what the play call is. When it's a running play, you might see Hollins in the slot. You might see Diggs as a flanker. But on that 4th and 3 run, that 4th and 3 pass, the 20 yards drop back, Stephon Diggs, he lined up as the X. So they're going to play him at both of those spots. And guess what? Play him at both of those spots.
Oh,
Please
of course.
do it.
You've got to move Diggs around. It's not worth paying. Everyone always gets caught up in X, Y, Z. And I always tell people that hasn't even been relevant, really, from a scheme perspective. Since
someone where they line up is always.
Yeah. It's like Bill Walsh had a manifesto on that where he just said, and we're gonna, and it's it's from his Stanford discussion at Stanford. And he said he's describing his offense. And he says, we're gonna move. We move. Here's what we do. We move people around. And just on this segment with wide receivers, we're gonna move wide receivers. We're gonna move them here. We're gonna move them there. We're gonna play them here. We're gonna play them all around. And that's that's what everyone's been doing for a while. And if you've got a guy like Diggs, like you got to move him around. You're not. He's not a one thing or the other thing. Diggs is where you can get the most out of Diggs. And by the way, the play you mentioned, great example. Great example.
Oh,
that is a Diggs, a 4th and 3. I actually have that one cut up. I haven't published it yet, but it's going to go in the 22 special. And like Diggs puts to get that release. You can actually see Booty just getting taken to school. Booty's release isn't bad. It's a nice, good physical release. He does a power release, but Diggs does a hop release, and it's one of my favorites to like diagram, cut up or show to people. Devontae Adams does. It's one of those ones that the best guys will get down, where he starts to run and does a little toe drag, and then just kind of jumps 3 yards really quickly, 2 yards really quickly at the cornerback, which causes the cornerback's hips to break, to break in one direction. And all of a sudden he's in his shoulder flips out. So you take a guy who's trying to press you and he's trying to get hands on you and stop you from getting leverage. And now this guy is on the defensive and his hands are back here because he just sees.
Yeah, now he's opened up and now it's already over.
Correct,
it's already
correct.
And the ball's already in the air, by the way.
Yeah, and this is the part that's so great about Stephon Diggs. And I did a little video on him where I said it's never one. He doesn't do one move. He doesn't do 2 moves. He's got like these three things set ups to get people off balance, because then
He's savvy.
Yeah, dude. He knows it's a 25-yard. This is a 25-yard stop. Okay, it's a stop, the back shoulder throw. So, and he knows it's a 25-yard stop, and he's a 25-yard stop with a high corner if a corner is over you. So he's running the cornerback, puts his hand back on him, and so what does Diggs do? Diggs puts his hand on his arm. Okay, and Diggs isn't trying to stack him at this point. Diggs is not, and
he's already committed to coming back.
Yeah. Well, the corner is checking over his head, and so what Diggs is doing is letting him get a feel of where Diggs is, because that's how cornerbacks will, when they want to keep their head away from the wide receiver, they'll always try to keep a hand on him, something like that, so they know that. And he's just letting him feel that. And if you watch with when Diggs gets to about the 21, and he's got a gentle hand on it, and a gentle little hand on his shoulder. Diggs just straight up shoves this guy 3 yards downfield. Straight up shoves this guy. Yeah,
it was questionable.
Yeah. It's not though. It's really not though, because you're allowed. There's a rule that so that if the defender is making contact with you, you're allowed to play through the ball and play through your route with contact. So. I actually got in a discussion of this with Alec Iometer, who's tearing it up, and someone was breaking him down saying he wasn't good, and then and I said, they're like, and pointing to a technique I'm talking about, and I said, no, that's legal. That is legal what he's doing, and that's what you should do.
You're fighting for the ball. You're fighting for the same ball, essentially, is with that.
If the defender is going to grip you and put his hand on you like this, when you get to the point where you have to make a break, you are allowed to just and kind of like get away, and because this guy is about a yard in front of him. This guy's anticipating them trying to stack him or whatever, and he's trying to feel him out. He just kind of shoves him, and he picks up like 4 yards of separation, 3 yards, something along those lines. You saw the play. It's an uncontested stop throw.
You're not doing anything, yeah.
This whole thing, this whole idea of what he did there is set up from the beginning. He says, I'm going outside. I'm going to hop at you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make you think I'm stacking you. And then I'm going to come up. And then when you think I'm just playing for the back shoulder ball or whatever, then I'm just going to shove you out of the way. I'm going to shove you out of the way.
And honestly, if they watch the Vikings joint practice, he diced somebody up just like that in practice. I'll share it again. But I remember sharing it from the Vikings practice. It was the same back shoulder and just caught him. Like the guy was in no man's land, just completely gone. It was worse. He actually just shook the guy bad.
And that's why I was
taking on pure chemistry alone. Just the chemistry involved in executing that type of downfield play. It's encouraging. So I'll build off of that.
Mike's point is the actual takeaway that in my 22 special, when I do it from both angles, I'm going to do Drake plus him, and Mike's point's the one that like, When Diggs was in camp, they had Edelman in there, and he's talking with Edelman, and I forget what they're talking about. They're talking about some kind of a route, and he just looks up at Edelman and he says, "But y'all had the best timing." With who's referring to Edelman, Brady, that offense. Yes. Yeah. And then Edelman looks back and says something. Edelman says, "Well, that's what you're here for. That's what you're practicing for. That's what we're doing." And Diggs is a pro. He's a pro's pro. Nobody has put more work. I see it ooze off of his tape, like all the time. And what I'm seeing right now is this sort of stuff paying off, that he is working on timing with Josh McDaniels, Drake May, whatever they're doing out here. Because for Drake May, like you were saying, for Drake May to get back there, he looks off a safety on the play. I already did that video. He just drops back. He knows he's in cover 3. It's either Booty or it's him, but it's probably Booty because they've got Douglas is running like a climb route over the middle that's going to target in a single high safety. This is going to target the single high safety wherever he goes. That's what you're kind of doing there. And so that's the side you're conflicted on. And you just see Drake look at the safety and then really quickly just reset.
He knew right away. He's like, I got this. As soon as he saw where the safety was, and he was like, yep, I got this.
And they all knew. They're all on the same page. That's the thing is we get cover 3, we get single high. This is where the ball's going. There's a trust in your ability, a trust in what's going on in the system. And that's the offense dictating to the defense what's going to happen. It's Drake May looking at a safety saying, I'm throwing this ball to Demario Douglas, resetting and drilling this, like Mike said, with this absolutely perfect timing, 25 yards, stop. Like, I mean, literally right where the ball should be. Somewhere, they always say between the hash and the number. That'll be like a coaching point.
It was impressive. It was very impressive.
Like right on the spot, and Diggs can't even see the ball yet. He just he pushes, turns, flips, boom. Like right there in his stomach.
It was like Diggs has been here for 2-3 years. That's what it was like.
Say the Buffalo fans probably have bad things to say about him. Who knows? Who cares? I don't really know, but I will just say this from tape: Diggs is the consummate, ages well, professional kind of wide receiver. That kind of guy. They're my kind of guys. Because look at Devontae Adams is tearing it up right now, and Diggs is. How far is he off from that ACL? Not even a year.
Probably
11 months. 11 months.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep,
I mean, that's stupid. That is stupid how good he looks for 11 months.
So how amped up is he going to be ready to go? Are they going to game plan?
Hold on.
Are they going to game plan? Are they going to the side eye? Joe's going to put the side eye in there. Of course he does.
I love
yes,
it,
to
man.
let him know. But do you think game plan wise, Joe, I'm going to ask you, do you think game plan wise they're going to go out of their way to get Steph his touches because where they are and what they're doing?
I think that it's impossible not to get you can't reel back Diggs at this point. I think we depend on him for big plays. I mean, it's flat out what we do. It's him or Hunter Henry who we're getting these big passing chunk plays out of.
He's clearly our best receiver. It's not even him and Hunter Henry and Hooper. I mean, that's it. Those are the 3 big. And then Booty has kind of taken a backseat a little bit, but I could totally see him making having a big game this weekend too.
Yeah, Booty's like, I think that's the nature of what Booty is. Like right now, he's the you're with like that auxiliary X. I think the apex of that kind of idea would be the Slim Reaper over in Philadelphia.
Devonta Smith. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Like,
Devonta Smith.
yeah, he'd be my archetype of like a what I would call like an auxiliary X, like the guy that like he's gonna play X, and he does a lot of that. The Reaper does a lot of that, and if you look at his like ups and downs, he doesn't accumulate massive amounts of yards, and he has big games and lesser games. And what Booty does for the offense is he holds the post. They know, everyone that's watched the Patriots knows that Booty can get open. He can get open deep. He can make catches that are contested. He can do those things. He can run a dig like with anyone right now. He's not what Diggs is as a route runner. He may never be. Not many people are. So yeah, I think they're going to feed Diggs, and I think you're going to feed Diggs because because Diggs is worth feeding. Because Diggs is good. Remember when the first time I ever came on your podcast, I said Diggs is going to be where he has to be on time. I said it. That is clear.
That's exactly right.
And what is happening? What is happening? Diggs is going to be wherever you need Diggs to be. He's going to damn well make sure. Like, that's just what he does, because he's the kind of guy who's got that kind of trigger in him, and you can see it all the time on his tape that he wants the ball. And the one thing I think tight ends, wide receivers, anyone in the league really, but tight ends and wide receivers, if you want the ball, don't worry about beating the other guy as much as being where your quarterback wants you to be, where you're,
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
The beating the guy is the Javon Baker kind of where you watch him sitting there, just all this extra steps and extra motion and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, yo, bro, you're in a fist fight now. Like, you're not playing football. You need to be where your quarterback's putting this ball. You need to wherever it's going to be, whatever it is, you need to be there, and you need to be there on time.
It's not where the guys are. It's where the guys aren't. That's where you need to go. So that's what Stephon Diggs does. And I don't like Felger and Maz, but Maz said it either yesterday or today. He was like, if you put Stephon Diggs on a 6-yard in or out breaker where you can just sit down in the zone, you're going to get that 5 or 6 yards every single time. And I believe him. I think that's right, because Stephon Diggs is such a savvy route runner and absolutely ruthless going over the middle. They need to get him way more involved in the game plan. As far as I'm concerned, and we can talk about Stephon all day, and I think he's going to have a big game against the Bills because they're going to go out of their way to feature him. But what does this mean, guys, both of you guys, about the future of Pop Douglas? Because I don't know, guys. I don't know.
I was a Douglas backer out of the draft, and
was I.
Yeah, and I loved his tape at Liberty, especially because people wanted to put they wanted to use a high draft pick on Josh Downs, and I'm not a big, I'm like, don't use day 2 capital on a guy, on a small receiver, unless they're very, very special,
right.
Like, they have to be very, very special, I mean, like you rarely see. And but it is what it is. I like you said, I would love to see Douglas tear it up, but you asked way earlier on, is May not seeing him? What's going on? Well, was Brissett not seeing him? Was Mac Jones or I forget if they had anything with Zappy, but
so fault is it basically?
Yeah, no, and it is, and you sometimes have to look at it that way. Like, and I will apologize on air right now to Jacoby Brissett, because I was pretty critical of Jacoby Brissett not going to him, and no one else has. Like, I mean, Drake was trying to last year, but I mean, like, you just see
he had 66 catches last year. He was I think second to maybe 60, and I think it was Hunter Henry that had 66.
You guys talking about Pop Douglas, right?
Yes, Pop Douglas.
He just said Jacoby Brissett, so I'm a little confused.
No, I said Jacoby Brissett wasn't going to Pop Douglas last year.
Last year.
Thing about that. And I said,
I'm special. I'm sorry.
No.
What you saying last year? Yeah.
I was referring to last year.
Honestly, I had Pop Douglas. I think his over under catches was like 75 or something, and I was saying he's going to have the over. And obviously knowing Diggs was there, but also thinking before the season that Diggs is going to start on the pup. Maybe they'll start him in a little later.
Well, I thought he'd be a flanker,
and he'd be playing more Z, right, and not as much
slot. But he's better in the slot. They're playing him at both positions, and he's great with both of them.
Actually,
I cut Z off, man. I apologize.
Diggs's rep split is actually the same as it's been at the last 4 years. I think more or less. It's not right. You play him around, like he'll kick inside a little bit. I don't think, but he also, like, a lot of the slot routes that New England fans receive as slot routes are really actually just kind of Z routes. He's just kind of playing them a little tighter. It is what it is. I think with the Mario Douglas, what Mike was saying earlier when he was talking about, I'll stand by my quote about him not being in the right place at the right time, and him even on that missed pass, was that last week with the near interception, and everyone's like, why can't you hit? And I'm looking, I went back and looked at the tape, and I'm not a hit man. I'm not here to like break players down, but as I saw on the tape, he doesn't look like he's in the right spot. Like when you watch Efton Chisholm play,
he slows down, right? He seems like he slows down. He
doesn't get it. He's
not getting his head around. Two things really that I see. He doesn't get his head around fast enough frequently on tape. And you'll hear me say this all the time because I'm obsessed with in-breaking routes when it comes to evaluating wide receivers. But I'm like, I'll say something like, and it's just instinctive. I'm like, watch his head snap around. Watch his head snap around. Watch him get in front of his quarterback. Because I just noticed that these are habits of very good wide receivers, that they're not looking at the guys around. They're looking at the coverage, and then immediately after their breaks or when they're coming across, they're locked in on their quarterback. They're like I said, they're begging for the ball. They're looking for the ball. They're asking for the ball. They're not worried about beating someone around them. They're not worried about the guys that are around them. They're looking for they're trying to be in time. And then the second thing was the coverage. He's too shallow. And it's almost like he's not watching. So I think it was a cornerback or a nickel on the play, and they're expanding. And so is the safety. And it looks like he's not really matching that. So where Drake is throwing the ball is in this little sweet spot between two levels. This is a nice, like, layered pass, and it's maybe 1.5 yards too tall for Douglas. But I'm looking where Douglas is, and I'm thinking, well, that's where you should be. You can get there. I was like, you could have got there. Like, you got to be reading, you got to be looking at the quarterback and looking at the coverage and being able to walk and chew gum at the same time to run that crosser. How do I know? Go watch Stephon Diggs do it. He ran two for like 20-yard gains just in that last game. Watch, if you want to see someone do it right, watch Stephon. He does it all right. And you watch him, he's always, he knows, like, if there's a nickel in front of him, like a nickel, like a safety or whatever, he'll immediately pick it up, and he knows whether or not that guy is likely to be playing him in man, and you'll see him break it off a different way. He'll stair step the route, and all of a sudden, boom, he's off, and your over turns into a square in almost. And then you'll see that where he'll find a soft spot in the zone. He'll get there. He'll get where the ball has to be. And with Douglas, that's the thing that's missing. And people will say it's because he's, and it's situational too, because we can't forget the 4th and 2. We can't forget this. That it hurts really bad, and I took some flack. I also got that quick reaction after the game when I posted it up, and I'm like, no, you need to get this yard. Like I've seen it enough, and then sure enough, when I look at the all 22, that's what you saw. I'm like, this ball from the sky view is maybe a half yard from you. You know what I mean? That was maybe
fall forward. Yeah.
And everyone's like, and then people say, well, I'm not against him trying to make a play. And I'm like, did you not pop in a tape of the Patriots dynasty for 20 years? The biggest play you can possibly make in the world right there is just getting your team another set of downs.
Right.
There's no cut. There's no juke. There's nothing you had to do. All you have to do.
Yeah, not fall, but you probably have to like.
Right, right. You have to embrace and go under. You duck under. Right.
Yeah. The duck thing. Yeah, you've seen it a million times. Like that whole just kind of be ready. And I think we all see that.
Get lower than the guy. The guy, I forget what corner it was, but there's a corner crashing in. It's like, all right, you have to get lower than him. That's it. Just
correct.
Get lower.
That's it. Just get low and keep your knees off the ground. And and that's what these guys will kind of do. Everyone in the NFL. When they try to make this kind of play, we've all seen it since we were kids. I could, I can think of evidence of the games of this going back 20 years and not Patriots games that you need that yard, you get that yard and you get that yard right there. And he was open and that was a decent coverage to throw it to him on. Like, I think that route converts on trap coverage, but that was just cloud coverage. So he had all this time. The ball was reasonably located. It was all there. He just said it after the game himself. And that's really what I was trying to get at. Oh yeah. That was 4th and 2.
I think he thought he needed like 3 yards, right?
Yeah, he's
like a few yards or something.
Yeah, and it's a 2-yard route. It's a 2-yard route. It's a 2-yard route. That's my whole point. It's like that's a 2-yard. It's a flat, but one that where you have the little stop where it is a 2-yard stop. That's exactly what it is. And I'm like,
they could have ran it ahead of the sticks, but they didn't. So
that may or may not be up to the wide receiver. So a lot of people will say that and they'll put it on the coordinator. So a lot of those routes will come in and say, get ahead of the sticks, get ahead of it. Yeah. Like it's understood in the route that the wide receiver and or tight end has to know the location of the down. In fact, there's there are a series of plays in the Patriots playbooks that are just have the term sticks, meaning in routes where it's quite literally the route is between this and this, and you're really kind of like they're sticks routes. And on that particular run where he's running a flat, it's.
But by the same token, they're looking for dogs in the receiver core. That's why you're seeing Booty, Hollins, and Diggs. That's what you're going to be seeing. Yeah. Apparently, Pop Douglas is not a dog. Okay, he doesn't get down and dirty like these other guys, and he's not as efficient as any of those other guys, and he's diminutive. Let's just be really honest about it. So that's why Matt Collins is getting so many snaps, because he offers value. He offers value in the run game. He offers value in the red zone.
He's predictable. He's reliable. He blocks. I mean, it's all these things that equal.
But I can't deny. Pop Douglas should rotate in as a slot when they put Steph Diggs out on flanker. That's great. Or put whoever else they want to.
But he's got to actually make plays. That's the problem. That's the
whole thing. He's got
to be in the right spot.
So we're plays. 4 weeks in. He's been consistently, systematically phased out, and there's a reason for that. And we saw what they have. I'm not saying Matt Collins is a world beater, but he's incredibly efficient at what he does. The value that he brings for that team with his blocking and ability to get open in the red zone when the timing is right is a big asset for this team. And Kayshon Boutte should get way more catches than what he really gets. But the bottom line is this: he's their 1X for a reason. Okay, he's not Mike Vrabel's guy. Mike Vrabel came in. Kayshon Boutte won that job. There's a reason why he won that job. You see that catch that he made when he was literally standing, he was like on his belly, and Drake short-armed it, and he caught it like this on his elbows.
Yeah. Drake was scrambling there and had to kind of like do that little
foot off the ground, right? The ball was a foot off the ground.
Yeah, he hit that little.
So Pop Douglas doesn't deserve time over those 3 guys. I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. Right?
Well, why not?
You described the roster like you just described. That's the wide receiver roster going forward. I wouldn't worry about too much. Kyle Williams just started in the league. I wouldn't. People are doing the thing where they put too much on rookies and they get too stressed out like the rookies aren't playing. Like Kyle Williams just got here. This is what you just said is and by the way, I was saying that about Matt Collins this summer. I said they didn't hire him for nothing, and don't be surprised if he gets most of the routes because his tape shows what it is. It is everything you just said. He is a useful guy.
I don't have to like him, but he's useful.
He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be Mr. Right.
He's very unsexy. He's not going to, score a 70-yard touchdown. I mean, he can. He
serves a purpose.
But he's Mr. Right now. He's not Mr. Right.
He's Mr. Right now. Yes. But I would be totally in on deactivating Pop Douglas and activating Afton Chisholm and seeing what he's got.
Of course you would, Joe. Of course you would.
Me too. Me too.
I would too, though. At this point,
I think we're there. I think we're there now. We're there. Like that's where we are right now.
We're getting to this point. We're getting to. I will say that we're getting to a point where it might be, or maybe you carry an extra guy, or maybe or something along that. Maybe there's another way to get him in there. But I mean, where I'm kind of like, if you're gonna, like you guys are saying, if Pop Douglas is going to be a gadget guy, if that's what we're drilling him down to, is a gadget guy, then maybe try and see what you can get out of Efton Chisholm as your change up wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Kyle Williams, for Kyle Williams, it's just straight up, you invested pretty high draft capital, higher than Booty, higher than Booty or Chisholm or Douglas. All of these guys are day 3 guys. So, although Booty is a whole nother story because he could have been a first rounder and in a parallel timeline. But you've got investment in Kyle Williams, so you keep him on the roster and you develop that. You want him in there with the wide receivers.
Give me a shot. Give me one shot. I just want one shot downfield because I know he's getting open at times. I just want to see one design shot downfield. I don't know. To me,
you know what I'm going to do? I haven't done it. I'm going to go through all the Williams routes, everything that he did. I'm going to put him out there and take a look.
I like that.
See what they're doing with him. I did it for one game, and I didn't do it yet this week. I was mostly just focused on the job they did running and rolling Drake May out and running the football, like the run. They didn't stack run yardage, but they didn't need to. The job another thing I know this is a little off topic, but I just want to go back to this. People are a little bit negative about the rushing this season, and I just want to say this: it's on tape. It's converting. It's converting into play action. Like that they're blocking the run. They're blocking some of these run plays, some of the stretch plays in particular, where you're seeing the whole defense trying to outrun Will Campbell and Jared Wilson or Ben Brown or whoever. It's been Jared Wilson, and you see the whole defense just flowing over the other way, and then there's nobody home. That's a big reason why all these kind of plays are working. Is this kind of run program that they put together? It's very, very, very varied. It's out there. So I will take a look at Kyle Williams on that because
I want to see it. I'm interested to say I haven't done it myself, so I'm definitely interested in seeing how he performs.
I definitely want to see. I would love to see them. I think for Kyle Williams to get in there, the easy thing is give him weapon touches. And I keep trying to tell people that. I'm like, Kyle Williams has to be the first person in line to steal reps from Demario Douglas, not Efton Chisholm. It's actually Kyle Williams is coming up with things.
You.
Yeah,
you would think that, but those guys play completely different positions. Kyle Williams is the backup to Kayshon Boutte right now. He actually played a lot of slot, and I've actually got. Oh, did he?
Yeah, I got a lot of tape on him from the preseason, and he actually. So remember the play that they did in the preseason that we were just talking about where Demario Douglas was short.
Yeah.
So I have tape in the I'm just to get everyone's perspective on what these positions are. In the preseason, they ran this exact same concept. Okay. Efton Chisholm is lined up where this goes right with what I've been saying all along. Efton Chisholm's lined up where Diggs was lined up on the play. Kyle Williams was lined up where Demario Douglas was on the play. Kyle Williams
inverted. It was inverted or something.
No, it was not. It was the same play. So the concept is called hook. The Patriots call it hook. So the insert side wide receiver runs a Patriot hook, which might be an out, but they call the route hook. Demario Douglas, Kyle Williams on this play are running a flat with a stop. The outside wide receiver is Kayshon Boutte. He was running a go. I forget who it was in the preseason running the go. They're running a go and it's a locked go. This go is going no matter what. So that's the concept. They run it all the time. When they're lining it up in preseason, they get these two guys out on the field. Chisholm is running where Diggs is. He's running the hook, and where Demario Douglas, what Kyle Williams runs the flat that Douglas failed to take over for a first down. I'll send you guys. I'll DM you the film afterwards. So
yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah. It's what I'm trying to say is like that. It's not what people think it is. It's not that Chisholm has been played around and Kyle Williams, he's kind of that like weapon guy. And that I think that's a way you can get him on the field as the weapon guy. And it's what I call him, your weapon guy. The guy who's like, you know who used to run in that spot too, by the way? Bourne. To just keep like broadening this out that I've seen. And when they ran when they ran hook before with, I want to say it was, that was when Bill O'Brien was here. The hook, Bourne would be the one on the flat. He's the one that's supposed to come open. He's the one that you're trying to get the ball to in space because everyone's going to cover the hook. Someone's going to follow the go. Someone's going to sit over your hook. And this little guy who's in between them who runs the little flat route, they call it a diagonal. that guy is gonna, in most scenarios, he's gonna be the one that's gonna get the ball. And you've seen them do this where the slot, whoever you want to call the slot, I don't really care what he's, the X or Y or Z, but the guy that's running Mario Douglas's thing in most coverages, that converts into a really quick, like the quarterback throws it and he's running to the flat, he catches it, turns, and then runs upfield. I could probably find clips and clips of that exact concept.
Well, that's what Kyle Williams, that's his bag. That's his college bag, is taking a 5-yard out and going to the house. So that's what I want to see. I don't want to see the Statue of Liberty play, whatever the round they did. I don't want to see that shit. I want to see him taking a 5-yard anything, and I want to see him getting in space. And I want to see this guy outrun people, because that's all he did in college, is outrun people.
Yep. And I was slot, and maybe it requires changing it up, and maybe that's what they're about, because I think if it's Kyle Williams, you maybe want more vertical stuff and less crossing stuff. Like can I see Kyle Williams can we get him on a safety once? Can we get him on a safety and see what happens?
Preview, a little bit of like he either did it or it was very close and maybe it was a missed throw and they don't have a connection, whatever. But I just want to see like a little spark. Give me a spark.
He's got juice. He's a terrific athlete. And Ray earlier on in the show, Mike was pointed to the fact that Josh McDaniels will be very much a game plan oriented guy. I think this year he's got a good sense of identity that the offense is doing. It's a little bit more focused than it's been in the past, but maybe that's what we're waiting for. Maybe there's a week that there's going to be like a Kyle Williams week, like we'll be this is the week. This is the week we think
could be this week.
Yeah. It is game plan specific, so you never know.
Yeah, like it is what it is. I mean, it's always what it was really for the Patriots, right? Like they were always not the stack and wide receivers throwing it all. There was always like a wide receiver who may be up there, maybe elevated, maybe not. You'd do something different. Someone, 1 week you'd randomly have like Hogan get like 100 something. You know what I mean? Like, and then you wouldn't hear anything from Hogan for a minute because they didn't like the matchup. So.
Well, ZeeBee, you are formally invited. I don't know what you're doing Sunday night for the game, but I know you're up north. How far are you from Providence, would you say? Probably about 3-4 hours?
No, I'm it's about an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, dude, you should come Sunday. We're having the so again, I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna plug it. Rogue Island.
Let's send him an Uber, Joe.
I'll send him an Uber. I got drivers.
Send him a car service.
I got legendary transportation. And legendary transportation is my.
We would love to have you there, bro. I know it's a long way away.
Oh,
you Vermont?
I'll make it down for a game. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this weekend, but I'll make it down for one. All right.
Awesome.
So are you in New Hampshire or Vermont, or where are you?
New Hampshire. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I go down there. I mean, I got family there, so
we'll meet up with them.
Yeah, definitely. Would love it.
Awesome.
It would be a great time, especially at Rogue Island, man. I would love watching games places like that.
It's the food's like unbelievable. But all right, so we got the show this weekend. We got the Bills. Mike and I will be talking about it on Sunday, so we're not going to talk too much about the matchup. And we've already kind of diced up the matchup enough where we've talked about their defense and their offense. And honestly, what I've seen, ZeeBee, and we'll talk about it briefly here, but like I'm not that impressed with the Bills as far as where I think they should be. Now it's still early in the season, but against the Saints, against the Dolphins. I mean, I'm looking at these games going, are they playing down to these teams? Are they really not this great? I mean, it's Josh Allen, right? We know what Josh Allen is. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, he does what he needs to win games. But what do you think? You think we got a shot?
I think their pass rush has been decent. So it's hard to tell with this short in the season, but I'd be there worried a little bit about that. I do think the Patriots have a shot. I think they've ascended. I think last week they announced that we've ascended, that we're no longer among the worst teams. Like we're not, you know what I mean? We're no longer in that like bottom tier with the Carolinas of the world. So I think, and we beat the Bills last year, right? Oh, kind of. So yeah, kind of. I forgot that was the year before the Mac Jones, Jones victory tour, revenge tour. But yeah, I think we've got a good chance. The way Drake May is playing, the way they've got everything, I think they've got a good chance. And you really want to steal one. The path to, I think,
we have to steal one.
Yeah, you've got to. I like that they won this game.
Their record is exactly what I thought it would be. They swapped they swapped a win for a loss with two teams. So I had them losing to the Dolphins, winning against the Raiders. But they're where I thought they would be. But I think stealing one from the Bills is one of the 2 or 3 things that are a must if you want to try and sneak into the playoffs. And I do think they've got a good chance the way that they're playing. So
has to.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills offense is not the one thing that you got going for you. You got one thing for you and one thing against you. It's not outside of Josh Allen, not the most dynamic. Like you don't have a wide receiver that's like a nightmare. I'm a little bit interested to see who covers Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, that's going to be a headache because we were having some fits with the Panthers tight ends,
yes.
Tremble, and I forget the other guy's Myers, or I forget the other guy's name.
Tommy Tremble, and but either way, I just noticed that on the Patriots this year, I feel like they might be without Peppers, without like where they are at now, like there might be a little bit vulnerable to a player like Dalton Kincaid. So I'd worry.
Jalen Hawkins is hurt too.
Yeah,
not great. Yeah, and we got Woodson who's playing better. He's playing well. Duggar's getting a lot more play too. So
that it might be a Duggar week. Like, hey, maybe
you're gonna see Duggar. You're going to see Duggar covering the tight ends this week, which is his deficiency. So hopefully we'll see if he has cleaned that up. But that's what you're going to see this week.
You guys think what's your score? What's your score on the game? You think they're going to?
Oh, we can't spoil it yet. We can't spoil it. Like, don't do it.
Oh,
we got this Sunday. We got the.
I tried to get you guys with a gotcha right there.
We can't. We'll let you do it. Hey, if you do your prediction because you're not going to be on the show on Sunday, give us your prediction.
I have not. Without having gone through all the Bills stuff, I think the Patriots are going to pull this one out and then lose the next one.
Wow.
Okay. I think the Patriots are going to pull this one out. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling fine. Maybe I'm just feeling too positive after that.
I'm with you. I like it.
But I do think they've got enough stuff out on tape that they'll be able to move the ball. And I think we haven't gotten to it. And I'm the biggest Drake May guy in the world. Obviously, I got a lot of chips in his basket. But Drake May is playing. He's standing on his head right now. Like he's playing so well. It's absurd, and I think that what he's doing is enough. Like if he comes out and plays the way that he has the last few games, if you don't, you're going to win the game. I mean, they would have won that game, the game before that, if you don't have like an absurd number of fumbles.
And if we win this game, the AFC is officially wide open because the Chiefs look like not great. And granted, they don't have Rashee Rice and they have some other issues going on. But the Ravens are imploding. The Ravens defense is, it's a shell of itself with all the injuries they have with Humphrey and
Ronnie. By the way, for the Will Campbell haters out there, Ronnie Stanley. Nothing against Ronnie Stanley, but he's a mess this season. They gave him a bunch of money, and I said, I don't know if you want to turn up a top 5 tackle in the draft to get a guy who is injured half the time, had one really great year right before a contract, and then do that. And then what do you have right now? Ronnie Stanley does not look like what you saw last year. So
Will Campbell's a monster by all measures right now. Yeah. And even with his deficiencies they had against the Steelers, they
had a stunt program. They had their stunts in games against Jared and him were the kind of things that you'll see rookies have trouble with.
Yeah, it was brutal. But, at the end of the day, he's a rookie, and I think he's playing, again, otherworldly. I think he's going to be a solid left tackle for the rest of his career. I don't think the guard conversation needs to go away.
Will Campbell, as of we're speaking right now, is top 10 in pass blocking efficiency in the NFL. I posted the chart.
In the NFL, correct.
In the NFL, period, at left tackle. Period, end stop at left tackle. He's got 97% of his reps are clean reps. That's good enough to get you in the top 10 most seasons. It is what it is. You can't look at it any other way. His 2 biggest struggle days were against Tomlin's defense and against he had they had some issues on that side against Minnesota. So it's clearly identifiable is that when you're seeing this stuff, they've got 3 up. 2, like they've got 2 off the edge and stuff like that. And there's a lot of situations where you get the rookies thinking, you know what I mean? Like where they have to stop and process, where's this pressure coming from?
Is it going to be a stunt? Do I have to protect here, or do I have to worry about this corner coming in from over here? And I think that's really in the Raiders game, that was the two of the plays that he had that were just exactly that scenario where they kind of had 3 or 4 potential rushers. They're presenting that side of the deep offense with 3 or 4 potential rushers, and you're rapidly trying to, him and Jared Wilson are rapidly trying to together sort out. And by the way, I gotta say this, Drake too. If I go back to the tape, there's some part of this where Drake has the ability to change these protections. He may be not doing it. He may be doing it at some times. And that's all part of picking up that Josh McDaniels offense. But like, if there's some people would jump on these tackles, and if there's 4 guys on one side and the quarterback hasn't done anything, it might be on him. Just going to throw that out there too, because you might want to.
That's fair, yeah. And this is all growing pains of this new offense and new offensive line. It's really a fresh offensive line and new players, right? So I'm happy with the trajectory, guys. I think we're going to have a hell of a game on our hands this weekend, no matter win or lose. I think we're gonna have a fighting chance. I think the whole time. So I'm hoping that's how it plays out. But any given Sunday, who knows?
If they lose big, I'll feel a little bit. Put it this way, I've got my hopes where if they lose big, I'll be a little bit disappointed.
Yes,
and I don't usually get disappointed in losses. I think I've grown to expect it. If we beat
ourselves, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
I agree with you, Mike. I think they're going to play. I think Josh is going to have them prepared. I liked your idea of them. Like, I think Diggs is going to come ready to play
for sure.
Yeah, Diggs is going to come ready to play, and I want to see that too. And I just want to. And also the generic, right, dude?
8 for 100 and a touchdown. That's what I'm doing. 8 for 100 and a touchdown.
You think he's gonna score? That is a prop. We should have had that one ready. Like, what is
that's my prop right there. Joe won't let me talk about any of the rest of the predictions or
prognostications. Hold something for the show. We gotta hold it for the show.
That's the only one I'm going to do right now. I'll do the rest of it on Sunday.
I'm going to tune in. I'll tune in. That'll give me something to tune in to watch. And
give us some quality. Give us some quality comments, ZeeBee. We'll love it.
Yeah. No, I will. Yeah. I will. I tried it.
That's our guy right there.
I'm hoping. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good game. I'm in Mike's camp. I think it's no matter what it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
This is the guy that we love so much. We go 22 minutes past ending time because we like talking to the dude.
I forgot I didn't eat dinner. It's easy to talk to you guys. I wish I had a beer. I forgot I didn't eat dinner. I'm literally
the next time ZeeBee we're talking. The next time ZeeBee we're talking, it's going to be over a meal and having some beer. All right. We'll make it happen. Whether we come up there or you come down or we meet in the middle somewhere, we'll figure
I'll probably come down there because I'm down there anyways more frequent than you guys are up here. So
do you live anywhere near Portland, New Hampshire?
Portsmouth, you mean?
Yeah, Portsmouth. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm outside of Manchester, so everything that's in here is like everywhere. If you're near in the southern New Hampshire, it's southeastern New Hampshire is pretty close to Portsmouth.
Yeah, I love it. I've been there a couple times. It's a lively scene sometimes at night.
Oh, gorgeous town, best nightlife in the state. There's some stuff to do in Manchester. It's a good town, but the best nightlife is down there in Portsmouth. My wife works there.
Joe, we'll go up there and blow up his whole spot. We'll get down there.
You remember when Chase Winovich was here?
Michigan.
He moved to Portsmouth, and every Instagram, this guy's just hopping around, and I love Portsmouth. He actually bought a house there and everything, and you just had this whole Portsmouth Renaissance based around the concept. Chase Winovich.
I don't know. I had high hopes for him. I was hoping that he was going to be a stud.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. He had some good. He had some
flash.
Really good tape. He had good time. Yeah, good flash, good pass rush tape. Couldn't set. It's one of those things about edges. Couldn't set the edge, and you're not gonna. I don't think his pass rushing was good enough to carry. You know what I mean? Like to
be that hit for that to be his thing. That he was.
Yeah, he's not in his pass rushing was not in the Uche category.
No.
And Josh Uche is tearing it up right now. Or
for the Eagles.
Yeah, or Chazon, our guy Chazon now, who was an Uche for a couple of years. like where he was kind of like on the roster as your pass rush specialist. So, Chase, I don't think he was there. So,
no.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been an awesome episode. And guys, if you don't follow ZeeBee already, it's at Bellino Z on X. He's on Cut Call on YouTube. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not watching his stuff, then you're missing out. We learn stuff from Mike, and I learn stuff from him all the time.
Every time we talk to him, every time.
And even when we're watching all his stuff, I mean, it's nonstop. So, guys, tune in. Always follow us at Joe LFG Patspot, at Mike LFG Patspot, at LFG Patspot. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Soon to be on TikTok when Mike's wife figures out the username. Anyway,
don't put that shit on me, bro. You talk to her, man. All right.
I know. I kid. I just wanted to hear this so that she texts me and goes,
I gotta go tuck her in. I'm in big trouble. We went over. I'm in big trouble right now.
All right, boys. Well, as always, LFG, and come to Rogue Island this Sunday. We're gonna have a bunch of free food, beers. You know it. You'll be on the pod. You can say whatever you want. It's gonna be a family atmosphere though, so chill out. But it'll still be fun. Thank you, ZeeBee, as always, and as always, LFG boys.
Woo, woo, woo. LFG. Here we go, fellas.